It's time for Around the Gridiron with your co-hosts, Marissa Voss and Brock Aker.
What's up, guys, and welcome to another episode of Around the Gridiron. We have a special guest today for you guys. It's our first guest on the pod. I'm super excited about it. Actually, Brock set this up. So, Brock, you want to introduce our guest since you know more about her, but I will say she's from the Boston area, so everyone from the Midwest probably is like, wait, who is this girl? But she reps Celtics, and she reps all of the good Boston teams. So, Brock, introduce our lovely, lovely guest.
Brianna Pirre. She's a host of the BSP Blocked List podcast. I saw actually how I found you on Twitter, Brianna, was that my cousin Vinny TikTok thing that went viral.
Oh my
God. A little bit of that.
So that was in the middle of quarantine. I had nothing to do with my life. So I downloaded TikTok and I was like, you know what? Like, I'm going to make videos to keep myself occupied. And I had just watched my cousin Vinny and I was like, oh, that could be a good one. And that's what happened.
Oh, I love TikTok. I think I did the same thing. I downloaded it like in March or even earlier. And I was like, I'm addicted. Like I spent like 2 hours, like a day just watching TikToks. I was like, this is not good. So I stepped back for a little bit, but it's crazy on there. It's like a different world.
Oh yeah. It's wild on there. It's crazy. It's all the little like 10-year-olds that are doing whatever the hell they're doing.
Yeah. And why do all these 10-year-olds not have to, like, they have a glow up. They look like 20. And like when I was 10, I looked not like that at all.
Like a monster. Yeah. No,
exactly. We're ganging up on Brock a little bit. It's a girls podcast right now.
I need to get a TikTok. I'm slow to the party, I guess. I thought Donald Trump was gonna zone that thing out, so I thought I shouldn't get it. But
oh no, there's no way. The Gen Zers love it too much. We can't. Even though I feel like I'm considered a Gen Z, but I'm like whatever. So a little bit different of we're going to get right into this podcast, talk a little bit about Brianna, but you know, your line of work, Brianna, what exactly do you do and what exactly is your job over in Boston?
So this is all independent stuff, all of the blogging and like the show that I do. I just mainly do it for fun. I did have a job in it, but because of COVID, like that all, unfortunately, we all got laid off and whatever. So I'm a nanny in my real life. But yeah, no, I do all the blogging for my website. I have my own website, and I do the show. It's all for fun. It's all just, I do want to eventually, end up with a real sports media job. It's just the right time is not now, especially with everything going on in the world. So I just do it for fun. And I've built up this following that I have, since I was in college. So 5 years now. And it's crazy. Sometimes I look at everything and I'm like, what is happening? What's my life? I don't know. But it's awesome. I mean, like the people who follow me and like the Patriots fans that I get to interact with on a daily basis, they're really cool. They're really fun to interact with. I get a lot of differing opinions that we get to go back and forth, but like for the most part, it's all like in good spirits and whatever. But no, they're all like wicked supportive and it's really cool. It's really, really cool.
That's awesome. So what would you say your dream job is, like your end goal?
I would love to be like a sideline reporter or some anchor in some capacity. I've always looked up to Erin Andrews. She's just like, I think she's the best of the best when it comes to women in the sports industry. So yeah, I guess something like that. I don't know. I do like writing more than I like actually talking on camera. Because I feel like I would be the one to like slip up and swear on TV. I know it. Like I know that's the kind of person that I am. It's just easier to not do that when you're writing,
Yeah, exactly. Brock, what was up?
I didn't want to, but in Boston, I listen to a lot of the Patriots games on the radio. Scott Zolak seems to swear a lot.
He is a wild card. So I don't really like listening to sports radio, but Zolak, his like daily show, his afternoon show, is one of my favorites just because I think he's an absolute riot. He's the funniest person in the world to me. He gets away with a little bit, yeah, but if I were to do something nationally, I would get in a lot of trouble if I did that.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, it's always so hard because for me, I did a podcast about Maverick hockey, the Minnesota State Mavericks team here.
Okay.
Then last year, and it was like very like obviously what you said, like can't swear, can't do this, top of your A game. And this one, I think I swore like the first episode, and I was like, oh. And Brock's like, we're not on campus of our college. Like you can swear. I was like, oh crap. Okay, yeah, that's cool. So, but and then my full-time job now, I'm a reporter for a news station in Mankato, Minnesota. So, and obviously I kind of want to do the same thing you want to do, sideline reporting. I said reporting because Erin Andrews is amazing. GOAT. She's so awesome. So, but it's hard when you have to watch your words, the mixture of writing and speaking in front of the camera and talking and all of this stuff. It's very different.
Yeah.
Where did you go to school for?
So I went to Sacred Heart for sports media. But I knew before I went to school that this is what I wanted to do. I did actually, when I went into college, I went into for teaching, and then I kind of was like, wow, this sucks. So no offense to teachers, like it just wasn't my thing. Like that's all. So I decided, I was like, you know what? Like I love sports. I love writing. I do it for fun as it is. Why not like go to school for it? So, but yeah, Sacred Heart. If you guys don't know, it's in Connecticut. That's where I'm from. It's got a great sports media program. NBC Sports headquarters is actually in Stamford, Connecticut, which is like half an hour up the highway.
Yeah.
So, like my advisor works for the Dan Patrick Show, things like that. So it's really cool.
Oh, that's super cool. Yeah, we had one of our, I would say Brock and I bosses, and then also my mentor, his name is Greg, and he worked at ESPN for like a number of years. So he lived in Connecticut where ESPN obviously is. Mm-hmm. And so whenever we would do stuff for class, we would always talk to people who worked at, ESPN for when he worked there. And it's kind of funny because like you don't think, oh, ESPN's in Connecticut, like everywhere, I don't know, but that's like the biggest hub, and especially being so close to New York City, and it's just like the perfect spot.
Yeah. You don't really think anything's in Connecticut, and then like you'd be surprised how many things actually are.
Yeah, absolutely. So
that whole Northeast, there's so many different sports teams like all around. Like I'm in South Dakota right now, and the closest team is the Vikings 4 hours away, and like the Chiefs are 6. Like in your area, there's probably like 10 or not 10, but maybe 6, 8 NFL teams that are in like the hour radius. So that's got to be awesome.
Yeah. So there's 4 professional teams. Well, 5 if you include the Revolution. So 5 professional teams in Massachusetts. New York has like 9. If you count Buffalo as like the whole state, it's insane. Yeah. There's at least like 20 in my 3-hour radius. It's wild.
Now you got to know why people on sports casters and all those people go there, and kind of an end on podcasters. Obviously, Barstool Sports is there too, and you've got all that good stuff. That's all I had my line of the work questions, but we're gonna do more about you questions. Brock, these are all kind of your babies, so I'm gonna let Brock ask some of these questions. So
okay.
Well, I was talking to Patriots now, since that's your go-to.
Oh yeah.
Cam Newton and Gilmore got off the COVID list now. After watching that game against the Chiefs where Brian Hoyer didn't know what he was doing, took so many sacks, like right before halftime was awful, taking that sack and not getting points, and then Stidham still coming in, throw a pick 6. It wasn't really his fault. Who do you think's more important to the team, Cam Newton or Stephon Gilmore?
Oh, absolutely Cam Newton. Absolutely. If I know that, the Pats are not only playing the Broncos this week, but I wouldn't go as far to say as the Broncos are one of the better teams in the league or even middle of the pack. But even if they were playing the Broncos with Jared Stidham starting, I'm not confident whatsoever. So it's definitely Cam. I feel like the secondary can be good without Gilmore. I feel like he's obviously the best player in, I think personally the entire defense. Obviously he won Defensive Player of the Year last year. But I think they can still be good without him if he wasn't able to play this weekend. But no, I for sure think it's Cam. Like you guys saw that game, like they somehow stayed in it for the longest time because the defense was keeping them in it and the offense just couldn't do anything. It was so infuriating. So Yeah, you need Cam. I'm not saying you don't need Gilmore, but if you don't have him, it's not the absolute end of the world.
What is your thoughts on Julian Edelman now? He leads the league in drops dating back to last year. I knew I loved him early on, but now he just kind of seems like a liability. Are you still thinking he's above average receiver, or is he kind of flattening out now?
I'm still all in on Jules. He's my guy. I absolutely love him. I will say the drops, I don't know what it is. Because like you said, it's dating back to last year. So it's not like he's not comfortable with this new quarterback, or he's still trying to figure things out with this new quarterback, because it was with Tom Brady, who he was with for like 10 years. So I don't know if he was banged up all year last year. He basically was like half of his body was broken. Like he had a shoulder problem, he had a knee problem. It was insane that he finished the whole season. I don't know if it's lingering issues that have been re-aggravated, or his hands just don't work anymore. I don't know what it is. I'm not out on him yet. I'm not going to go as far as to say he's a liability, because I thought he played great in the Seattle game. Sure, he had a couple drops in that game too, one of which being the potential game winner. Cam threw that one a little high though, so I'm not going to completely blame Julian for letting that go right through his hands. But ask me again in a couple weeks if this continues, and then I probably will have a different answer.
Going to another white receiver, your Twitter page goes off when Gunnar Olszewski goes off. What is so special about him that you lean towards him a lot?
So I don't think I've ever explained this. I think the people who know me know this, but every year for all sports, I find like, I guess the underdog, and I latch on, and I am a fan because I love seeing undrafted rookies and rookies from like super small schools. Like he went to Bemidji, which is near, you guys probably know where that is. I have no freaking clue where that is.
Hockey.
And it's just like, I think it's so cool. Like the whole story of, okay, well, you didn't get invited to, a combine, or you watched the entire draft and your name didn't get called and you sat at home for the whole time. And like, that sucks. To come into a camp and to prove that despite all of that, you still are talented enough to make an NFL active roster and to play. I think that's the coolest thing. And it's with the Patriots, they've done that before. The Malcolm Butler story, like he was out of West Alabama. Like you don't hear of these schools. I just think it's cool. So I'm a day one Gunner fan. He knows that too. And I feel really awkward tweeting about him as often as I do, because he actually follows me and I feel like he thinks I'm like crazy stalker lady, which isn't the case whatsoever. Like that's not it.
Not it. I'm not crazy.
Yeah, no, I promise I'm not crazy. I'm not like sneaking like in his backyard or whatever. I'm literally just a big fan and I want him to be successful. That's it. Yeah, so that's my guy. I actually just got a jersey for my birthday last week from my sister, which was a big deal. So I am officially official when it comes to fandom. It's crazy. It's a little crazy, but not that crazy.
Not that bad. On the crazy scale, it goes a little lower.
I'm like a solid like 7 out of 10. I'll like whatever.
Beautiful.
I actually just ordered Chase Winovich jersey now. He seems like an up and coming budding
Okay.
star.
Oh gosh, he's a personality too. He was actually on Zolak and Bertrand today, and they asked him about all of these crazy conspiracy theories and stuff, and that's like his thing. So he is a believer in the Mothman, which I've never heard of. I didn't know that was a thing. He doesn't think chupacabras are real, which I agree with. And he thinks Bigfoot is real, but I think like the direct quote was not how we think, whatever that means. But he's like, aside from being a great football player, he's just so fun to listen to.
Yeah, I think he can be the best pass rusher for the Patriots now since probably Chandler Jones got traded. And we need that pass rush, especially now with losing a lot of our guys Like,
Yeah.
I don't know, going on without Kyle Van Noy, Dante Hightower, Patrick Chung kind of with COVID setting out. How do you think the defense now, the linebacking, or they seem to stop the Chiefs' run game? Do you think
Yeah.
that's going to continue out during the year, or do you think once they play the Ravens or the Titans, that run game is going to show up again as a struggling point like it did ended last year?
I think it could go either way. It could be sustainable in the sense that there's no real, I don't want to say, I think leader's probably the wrong word, but somebody like that. So like there's no high tower to be like, hey, you know, this is my defense and whatever. Everybody's kind of pulling their own weight and all of the individual pieces make a whole. It's not like there's one main and everybody else is just supportive around it. If they continue to do that and they continue to mesh and they continue to grow together as a young defense, I think they'd be, I don't see any problems. In the same breath, the youth, I guess, just the majority of them are young players. They're either first, second, maybe third year players. And then you've got John Simon, Lawrence Guy. And I think for veterans in that front portion that's pretty much it. That might get exposed. Lamar Jackson hasn't had the best season so far by his standards. So if that continues, I'm going back and saying, oh, I think they'll be fine. But it could go either way. And I guess it just kind of depends on where the team as a whole goes. So if they come and they win, say they win their next 3 games, then I'm not worried. If it's a little iffy, then I'm going to say, yeah, well, I mean, it really could go either way. I guess it's just like a week to week thing. I don't know. That's a tough question to answer, actually.
Do you feel confident that they can still win another division title with the Bills? Luckily, they lost to the Titans. They finally looked like the old Bills team, but they still kind of seem a little scary.
Yeah, so my thing is with the Bills is I think their defense is good. I thought it last year, and I thought that they were going to be just as good this year. Josh Allen has played well so far, but you also have to look at who they played so far. Like, I don't remember exactly their schedule, but they played the Raiders, the Dolphins,
The Jets
and one other. Oh, yeah. Okay. And the Jets, that's an automatic one right there. They could have put their practice squad out there and beat the Jets.
Really, I could go out there.
So like 4-0, the Rams are frauds in my opinion. Like they can be so good, but like they're really not. I don't know. I know for a fact that's going to come back and bite me one day. I know it. But when they played a good team, the Titans are good. They play a good team and Josh Allen turns back into a pumpkin. It's like Cinderella at midnight. He turned right back into the average quarterback that he is. And I have argued that for over a year now that he's not terrible. He's not great. He's average. He's just middle of the pack guy. And you saw that Tuesday night, weird Tuesday night football.
Tuesday night game.
I still think the Patriots, if Cam stays healthy, they can win the division. I am excited for that Bills game in a couple weeks just to see, where they both are at. But this is also a team with the Patriots that if they had their quarterback, I think they would have throttled Kansas City. Just based on how the defense played, how Mahomes played. I didn't think Mahomes played great that game. I think once the defense kind of got absolutely exhausted from carrying the entire team for the 3.5 quarters that they did, then he was able to, expose them and score and do Patrick Mahomes things. But I really didn't think he played well. So it's just like, it's the thing with the Bills is like, they're the Bills. And that's that. They start 4-0. And the last time they did that, they finished the season 7-9. So
I think the AFC is so interesting because, like you said, Pat Mahomes didn't look that good against the Patriots. They lost to the Raiders, and they should have lost to the Chargers if Herbert didn't throw that interception instead of he could have just ran for a first down, or Tyreek Hill on that touchdown, he got the 2-point conversion afterwards. Well, he shouldn't have gotten that because he took his helmet off. It should have been a 15-yard penalty. And that would change the whole game. All of a sudden, the Chiefs could be like 2-3 right now and be crazy. The Ravens, like you said with the Bills, they haven't really played anyone tough. It's all of a sudden the Steelers are coming out of nowhere. Like they might be actually the toughest team in the AFC.
Yeah, it's also, that's another cool story is Chase Claypool. He had 4 touchdowns the other day for the Steelers? That's insane. Like, who the heck is this guy? So it's things like that I think are really cool. But yeah, if you were to tell me, just based on everything that happened last year, that the Steelers would be the arguable best team in the AFC right now, I probably would have laughed at you. That just doesn't seem right, but it is. That's what we're seeing. It's crazy.
With the Steelers, or former Steeler Le'Veon Bell now signed with the Chiefs, do you expect that to be a big deal now, or since they have Clyde? That's going to be interesting. It's probably going to be still kind of a committee, but what are your thoughts about that? Does that change anything for you?
So I saw that, actually, that was the first thing I saw when I looked at my phone and when I left the gym. One of my friends texted me and said, Le'Veon to KC, ... Personally, and this has nothing to do with me being a Patriots fan and absolutely hating the Chiefs, 100%, maybe like 95. I think it's a sucker move. I think he just wants that ring and he wants to go to the easiest place. Which I get it. Good for you. But to me, I think like, also, how does Casey have all this money? I know Pat Mahomes' deal is completely back heavy and whatever, but like they extended Chris Jones, they extended Travis Kelce. I feel like there was another person in there that I'm missing, and now they're signing him. Like, I haven't seen what the deal's actually for. I know it's just 1 year, but I haven't seen the money. But it seems like they just like, they have no cap whatsoever. It's insane.
Yeah, I thought they had like $100 of cap room left.
Yeah, right. That's what I thought too.
Yeah, exactly. How are they getting Bell? And it's just so weird because you even look at like the Vikings and everyone else. You're like, well, they've got to make such big changes and trades,
right?
And Rob Diggs and do this and try to work this, but yet Chiefs are just going. I'm like, how does this? Is this what happens when you win the Super Bowl?
Yeah, I can tell you that's not what happens, because as that's happened 6 times here, it's like cap hell here 24/7. So I can tell you that's not the case. I don't really think it's gonna make that big of a difference for Kansas City though. Like, I still think they're gonna be good. I still think they're a good offense. I don't think this propels them to where they're completely unbeatable. Because I'm not sure if it was just the fact that he was with the Jets and Adam Gase is the worst coach in, the history of ever. And that's what made Le'Veon look terrible. Or he's actually, washed. I don't know. I'm thinking it's the former, but I wouldn't be surprised if it's the latter. So I don't really know. I don't think this makes a big difference for them because they have Clyde, and I think he's great. I think he's really good considering he's a rookie. I will say, though, Andy Reid can use Bell in a way that only I think him and Josh McDaniels can, because he's one of those backs that can line up in the slot if he had to. But yeah, I just don't think it's the end of the world if you're a fan of literally anybody else but the Chiefs, because I still think they can be beat. And I don't think this makes that big of a difference.
I caught a little bit of your Twitter live or whatever before the Chiefs Patriots game. Is it true you're blocked by a Mahomes fiance?
So I thought I was, because after the game last year where she said all of that stuff about how she was like harassed at Gillette Stadium. From what I know, none of that is true. I know people that work in the section that she was sitting in. I know people that were sitting in the section she was sitting in. By all accounts that I've heard, that's not the case. Her and Jackson Mahomes were being loud, obnoxious, whatever. And people were just like telling him to shut up. Like, that's what I don't know if that's just us and we're complete assholes. But I feel like if any opposing fan going anywhere, like if you're going to be loud and obnoxious, people are going to tell you to sit down and shut up.
Oh yeah.
So I went on this whole thing last year, basically saying how that story is not true. And I could have sworn I got blocked because she tweeted that whole thing about like the post office, her postman delivering something earlier than it was supposed to and whatever. And people are going off on her. I was like, oh, like that's privileged and whatever. And I tried to, and I wasn't able to tweet that. So I was like, oh, maybe I'm blocked. And this entire time I thought I was, until after the game where she was like, she said something about Dietrich Wise, how he should have been thrown out of the game because he tried to hold Pat up as they were both flying out of bounds. So that's how I found out I wasn't blocked. Spent almost a year thinking I was. I probably missed out on so many things that I could have just absolutely roasted her for. And those are just, I'll never get them back. But there's always the future.
And Wise, didn't he catch that interception that they called early sack with Chase Winovich? The Chiefs.
So that was Calhoun, but
Calhoun.
Yeah, like either way, like it's just I don't understand the refs. The refs treat the Chiefs for the last year and a half, 2 years, the way people think that they treat the Patriots, and it's like it's clear as day that it's not. But I don't know.
Marissa, you wanted to ask some Minnesota questions here to get to the unbiased feel.
I had to let you guys stay quiet because I had to let Brock and Brianna have their Patriots moment because I am a Minnesota Vikings girl, Minnesota sports girl. So I let them have their moment, but it's my time to shine. Okay, so being in Minnesota, we're so infatuated with sports, but so are you over in Boston. Do you guys know a little bit about like the Minnesota curse, I like to call it, like the Minnesota sports
Minnesota curse? No.
Yeah,
so we know all about curses here though, so lay it on me.
Okay, so basically, obviously, you know that Vikings have never gotten to win a Super Bowl, and it seems that the Twins go into postseason and they're just bad. They get first in the AL and then they just tank, in the postseason. They lost 17 straight in a row for postseason. I guess that thing is like, have you guys even heard about that? I don't know. I haven't seen another state like Wisconsin or, Texas or anyone be bad on all cylinders all the time on every sports.
Yeah, it's like the Red Sox, it was like 108 years in between World Series championships. So like we know all about that. Yeah, now that you bring it up though, like the last time the Wolves were good was with Garnett.
That was literally like the last time.
When's the last time the Wild did anything? Oh my gosh. I will say though, shout out the Minnesota Wild for trading me Charlie Coyle. Thank you.
That's so dumb.
Thank you. I hope you guys are enjoying Ryan Donato.
No, not really.
Yeah, I didn't think you were. But thanks to me. Thank you.
I seriously, when
we
were trading Coyle, I got so upset because I'm like a hockey girl too. I got so upset. I was like, we're trading one of our best players just because we want to get so young, and we're so like infatuated with building on something young and getting something going that we're like just like we traded Miko, we traded all these people. Like why? And we kept Koivu. Like what? Keep the oldest guy on the team, but you don't even keep. Yeah, that hurts.
I don't know what hockey is. I just run camera for some hockey games. I don't know.
I had to explain hockey to him. I'm like, okay, Brock. So hockey is like soccer, but kind of on ice. He's
like, exactly.
Oh yeah, that's exactly what I said. It's like, he's like, yeah, that makes sense. I'm like, oh my god. But
that's why I will go to games that I get paid for running camera. I would never go there just for fun.
Oh my god.
Oh, they're so fun.
Oh, they're so NFL and NHL games are on top of one of the best games with NFL.
Yeah,
those are the two.
Blast.
I feel like it's foosball though. It's like whoever gets the most shots on goal wins. It's not.
No.
As a Bruins fan, I can tell you that's absolutely not true.
You can. There's been games I went to, even like Minnesota State games. We've gotten like, oh my, so many shots on goal. Like we're beating the other team in shots on goal, and we're losing 3-0.
Yeah.
Because all it needs is that one freaking 5 in the top. Like it's the hockey infuriates me because I'm like, wow.
Yeah. No, that's life as a Bruins fan. They can be, in terms of shots on goal, they can have like 20 more than whoever they're playing and be down by like 3. It's insane. Makes no sense.
No. So we're gonna go. So what are your initial thoughts on Kirk Cousins as a QB for the Minnesota Vikings?
I think he is absolutely stealing money from you guys. Just stealing. Like, lock him up. He's
gone.
He can be good when he wants to be, but when he's not, oh my God, does he stink? He's
like 4 interceptions in one game. I was like, are you setting a record for being so bad?
Yeah, and I kind of need him to be good because I have Adam Thielen on my fantasy team, and he's not really, performing. And I figured, with Diggs not being there anymore, Thielen would get more targets. Apparently that's not the case. So
Justin Jefferson is the one.
Yeah.
Well, I was against England last week, and he scored 20 points against me.
Yeah, but then the week before, it was like he gave me like maybe 6. So it's Kirk Cousins, dude. Yeah, I don't know. I'd be pissed if he was my quarterback. I'll tell you that much. So I feel for you guys.
Well, there's so many of them that it's like, for me, I'm a diehard. Like, my parents have season tickets. I've been going to games since I was like 7.
Okay.
So I am an absolute diehard, but it's so hard for me because they're like, tank for Trevor, like Trevor Lawrence to get the first round. Yeah. I said, it's no way we're beating the Jets. Jets are going to get him hands down every single time. And there's just no way. I can't like willingly want my team to lose. Like, I can't look at you in the face and say, I want you to go 0-16 so I can have a better future. Like, that's not
of course not.
So many people are doing that over Minnesota. I'm like, are you just, come on.
Patriots fans tried to do that. And like, first of all, if you think Bill Belichick is ever going to tank for anybody, you are like,
you're solely mistaken.
Yeah.
Okay. So we're going to go done with Minnesota because it makes me sad. Makes me sad talking about Minnesota sports. But we're going to go now a little rapid fire questions. And these are random. These are some are sports, some are not. And the first one, this is really funny to me. Funniest, I don't know if you have Tinder. Do you have Tinder?
I'm not anymore, but I did. Oh boy.
What is the funniest Tinder encounter from a male that you've had?
Somebody somebody followed me on Twitter and said, "Oh my God, you're the Twitter girl." And I was like, "Oh, he's cute, whatever." I was like, "LOL, yeah." He goes, "I think I asked you for feet pics once." I was like, "Okay, bye." And then I actually looked to see if that was true. And this kid sent me a message request and said, "If I sent you money, would you send me a picture of your feet with the Boston sports teams painted on your toes?" And I was like, I think I just dodged the biggest bullet in the world because this kid might have killed me.
Oh my God, that's like,
I wish I was making it up. I wish this wasn't true, but it is.
That makes me want to throw up. And now different than Tinder interactions because that's disgusting. Favorite Patriots moment you can have as a Pats fan?
So I have 2 for this answer just because I went to the Super Bowl against the Rams. So that's just like the coolest thing for me. It wasn't the best game, but it was just a really awesome experience. I got to watch Tom Brady win his last Super Bowl with the Patriots, like right in front of my face. It was awesome. But my favorite moment ever, I think it has to be the double pass against the Ravens in the 2014 playoffs. That was just like such a pivotal moment in that game. They were down by 14 twice. And then like Element and Amendola, like the 2, my favorites. It was just, that's definitely my favorite out of everything I've ever seen.
Okay. So another question. This is in Midwest again. We have Caribou Coffee over here.
I've heard of it.
Coffee?
I've never had it, but I've heard of it.
Okay, you've heard of it. Okay, good. What's your favorite coffee to drink when you're over in Boston?
Iced hazelnut with almond milk.
Ooh.
From Dunks. Yes, super yummy.
The Dunks is huge over there, isn't it?
Oh yeah, it's like the world headquarters is like 2 exits up the highway from where I live. Yeah.
I'd be driving every day. I love my coffee.
You would think like being so close to like the headquarters, all the Dunks around here would like get your order right and be like fantastic.
No,
that's not the case. They all stink. But I still go every day. So
fine. I would too. All right. And then I guess last one is favorite sport to watch.
Football tied with hockey.
That's my girl.
Yeah, big hockey girl. More into football just because like that's what I grew up loving. But as I've gotten older, Probably, I think I started, really getting into hockey in middle school, and that's more, I feel like I'm more like 1,000% invested. Like if the Bruins lose, it completely ruins my entire day. If the Patriots lose, I'm like, yeah, that freaking sucks. But like, I'm not going to, hang my head over it because they're the Patriots and they're so good. The Bruins, yeah, it's a little different. Plus, like I do work stuff for the Patriots, and like it kind of takes the psychotic side of me out of it a little bit. With the Bruins, I'm all in. Like, yeah.
All in, baby.
All right, I guess we got 2 minutes left here of the Zoom Pro thing. So let's go to the locks and upset of the week.
So I'm going to pull up, I'm going to get Vikings upset Falcons. That's my lock. Obviously, I know that they sucked last year. We're playing the Falcons, so that's got to happen. And then my big upset is I'm going Browns over the Steelers. It is very much an upset, but I'm doing it. Browns over the Steelers, baby. Give it to me.
I'm going to go with the Patriots as my lock against the Broncos. I don't see them losing to them at home. And then my upset will be the Dallas Cowboys on Monday Night Football against the Cardinals at home. Somehow the Cardinals are favored. I don't think Andy Dalton's that.
That's my lock. Cardinals over Cowboys. I don't think Andy Dalton's good at all.
True.
And the Cowboys defense is like very suspect to me. And then my upset, Texans over Titans.
Let's go. That's what
I think I like that one. I think I like the divisional upsets.
Yes.
That's true.
Like they're always weird games.
Well, Brianna, we appreciate you coming on the show. This time maybe we see you a little soon, but I'm glad we got to know you, and good luck with the rest of your career, and hopefully something opens up here as COVID hopefully dwindles down.
Yeah, I hope so. Thank you guys for having me. This was a lot of fun.
Absolutely. We're going to be tagging you in the Twitter. So please people follow Brianna's Twitter. She's got the best stuff. Obviously ATG talking on Monday and recapping all of the episodes that went down, all the games, Vikings, the Texans, and see who's pick and lock one. I'm hoping mine won, but Brianna had a pretty strong one too. I'm pretty bold with the Browns and Steelers. Brock, I feel like, is pretty safe over there. But from everyone here at ATG, thank you so much and have a great one.